Welcome everyone, thanks for dropping in. We'll start by checking the run out. All the flats are bang on. One point's about a thou bigger, same as when we were doing the axle. But it's not one of the ones influencing the chuck jaws. We should be alright. Alright, we'll start by setting the compound to 45 degree to clean up the taper on the end of the nose of the stalk that came with the 45 degree taper, but I can see it's not running true. We'll start by setting the tool post square with the compound, and then we'll set the compound to 45 degrees. Using the square here to do that as there's no scale on that side of the compound. Okay, we'll bring our tool in, get our zero set up, make sure we have enough room to cut the length of the taper, lock the carriage down, and we'll just cut a knot off to clean it all up. Okay, that looks good. Let's take a cut. There's a bit more room than it looks like for my hands there, but I'm being very careful, of course, being close to the chuck like that. Looks like we need a little bit more yet to clean it all up. Take a couple more cuts. Always land with final cut being just a couple thou to clean it up real nice. And that looks like it has it. We'll take our final pass and we'll back it out real slow, kind of like a spring pass. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, clean it all up. We'll reset our compound to 0. And the tool post to the compound. Using our 1, 2, 3 block against the chuck. And gets us nice and true there. Okay, tool post. Start at 0. Okay, now I do have a scale. I want to set my compound to 30 degrees. Now I'll reset the tool post back to the 0 of the Z axis, so our tools are running correct when we drop them in on the tool post. Okay, now we'll commence facing off the nose. Want that to be about 700 thou across. That way it leaves us 100 thou and a bit more, maybe, to a bit of an edge at the nose before the threads. Okay, let's check it here. Maybe just a bit more. Doesn't have to be exact, but I just like to leave a bit of an edge at the nose there for strength at the end of the threads there. Check it again. Yeah, that's good. Okay, in with the parting off tool. I just want to find the edge of the nose with the razor blade to the edge of the parting tool. We'll bring that back to where we're going to cut the nut off at 0.6875, 11/16. And we'll just go down through the points back to our 145 thou depth, just to get us down to the flats. Give us a nice finish at the end of the nut. A bit of lubrication there as we go a bit deeper. Yep, that looks good. Now we'll bring in the 45 degree chamfer tool and form that back side of that nut. Even at the same 45 degree as the front. Okay, now we'll start drilling. We'll start with a number 3 center drill. I'm going to drive that in as far as possible, giving our drills a little bit of a pilot hole to start with. The major diameter of that center drill is 1/4 inch, so that's the drill we'll start with. I'm using the carriage against the tailstock. That way, if we got to back out and clean up, we can just bring the whole tailstock out, back in, bump the carriage. We know we're not hitting the end of the drill in the bore. Just before we back out, we back the wheel off just a half a turn or so. That way, when we come in, bump the carriage, we're not hitting the end of the bore with the drill, wanting it to grab. Okay, and we'll just move up the drills slowly, giving us a nice easy drill. Take our time, moving up about a 1/16 of a time at a time on the drills. Okay, here's our 9/16. I forgot to back up the tailstock all the way, so I'll just do that here so we're get down to the bottom nice and snug there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Check our bore. 564. We got to go to 0.578. We'll bring in the boring bar, clean up that bore nice and true. Run a couple passes until it feels like it's cleaned up well. And we'll check our bore size. That's our bore gauge. Okay, let's check it there. 570, 1/8 thou to go. Just take 2 thou at a time. Nice light cuts. You get a real nice finish inside that bore. And my last pass, I'll bring it out on the feed as a spring pass. Get a real nice finish there on that bore. Okay, here we go. And we'll check our bore size again. .578, bang on. Okay, and we'll start with the threading. Using a little bit bigger filter wrench this time, as this large tap going in the bore will take a little extra torque. I like to use the T-handle there. I've experienced the larger tap trying to turn in the drill chuck or the drill chuck turning the taper in the tailstock, and we definitely don't want that. Okay, so we'll thread in a little ways. I'm using my tap guide that I built. And we'll just back her out, clean the chips, a little more cutting oil, run her back in. We ought to be getting close to the bottom here. Better bring it out, break the chips again, clean it up, and we'll check, make sure we're bottoming out. Without all the chips and everything in there, I'll be able to feel the bottom a lot better. I just run out of room on my carriage there, so I'll run the protector up on top, the board protector up on top, and finish that up. Okay, felt like we're at the bottom. Back her out, clean her up, run it in and out by hand once. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Clean it up. Okay, I'll bring in the chamfer tool and just touch that nose up a little, take that first sharp thread out of there. Yeah, that looks good. Switch to parting off tool. The tool in so we can part it off. Cutting oil there. And get ready to catch it. After parting it off, there was a little bit of a burr on the back side there, about 1/4 of a thread sticking out. So I just cleaned that up with my Noga hand deburr tool. Turned out pretty good, actually. Thanks for stopping by. Leave a comment, ask a question. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.